Hello, everyone. This is Jordan. Welcome back to the Daily Gold's YouTube channel. And thank you so much for joining me for the weekly recap. This is being recorded on the afternoon of Friday, September 27th, 2024. And look, gold and silver, it looked like we were headed for a very strong week, but we had some weakness on Friday, so not quite the way things shaked out this week. Gold and silver were up each around 1% on the week. The miners, GDX and GDXJ, were flat to slightly lower. I think slightly lower, actually. While SILJ, the silver juniors, were actually higher by over 2% on the week. So technically, the quick thought here is gold nearly reached the target of 2720 that we talked about several weeks ago. And silver reached that $32 resistance. And now we could see a little profit-taking selling in the market. One other thing I want to mention, a housekeeping item. I am just about done with my book. I have to go back and edit everything. Really excited to give my book to you guys. You'll get on my email list. You will get it for free. You'll get a free PDF copy. And it basically contains all my charts, just all my historical research, all my thoughts on gold and silver. So really excited to share that with you guys. I think you'll really enjoy it. With all that said, now let's get to the video. Let's look at the charts. Okay, so starting off here, we have the gold daily candle chart here, the silver daily candle chart. And so gold here, we're looking at the 50-day moving average here in light blue, and here is the 100-day moving average below it. One thing we have to think about is historically, and I mentioned this in other videos, when gold corrects during bull markets, it corrects down to either the 50-day, when it's running really hot, the 100-day moving average, or the 150-day moving average. So if we are indeed going to correct, these are, I think, the best case potential moving averages, or moving averages, I should say, not potential, to look at. So again, this is the 50-day here, coming up here at 25.24. Here's the 100-day, coming up like that. And if we think about it, since gold made that move above 2100, it's been running really hot. I mean, other than this point when it corrected here for, call it, what was that, 3.5, 4 months or so. So even when it corrected here, it held above the 100-day. So it has been running hot, but is overbought in a short-term sense, but it did just emerge from this consolidation. So I don't think it's quite time for a more sustained correction beyond a month or two, I would say. I think that could be coming at 3,000, but I could be wrong. That's just a thought for now. But digging into the price action, we do have support here at 2,500. Also, I should have put a line here right around 2,550. So if we are going to see, let's call it on the daily chart, a sustained correction, it could be a month, could be 5 weeks. Maybe it's only 1 or 2 weeks. But in any case, these are the levels we would look at: 2,500, 2,550. And maybe by that point in time, it tests the 100-day moving average. 2720, again, I haven't mentioned it, I think, in the last couple weeks, but there was a measured upside target pointing to 2720 and also a Fibonacci target. So we got really close to that 2720 target. So there is some resistance there at 2720. Silver, clear as day here. I mean, we rallied up to 32. I mentioned it in a video this week. So it was coming up on multiple charts, the daily, weekly, I think maybe even the monthly or the quarterly. And by the way, end of the month, end of the quarter on Monday. I mean, I wish it would have ended today because we could have looked at those charts. So in any event, $32 for silver. This is significant resistance. And silver did have nearly a 20% correction here in the spring into the summer when it traded up to nearly 33, came back down, almost retested perfectly previous resistance at around 26.00. But the market was able to rally up here to 33. So we see a little bit of selling this week, especially today. So looking at potential support levels for silver, we have $30 right here. And then we also have 29, as we've talked about in recent videos. And I'll get to the weekly line chart in the next video. Gold-silver ratio here, it's just been going sideways for the last couple of years. So there's no real trend here. It's just been going sideways, kind of messy. And by the way, we don't want silver, because if we get to the point when silver's really outperforming gold, that's a sign that you're near the end of that move. And so who knows? Maybe silver, that'll happen after it breaks 35.37, and at which point, that would signal maybe we're going to get a bigger correction at 50 and whatever the gold price is then. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But so bottom line is I'm not that distraught with the sideways performance in the gold-silver ratio. So let's get to the weekly chart. Okay, so weekly candles here, gold here, silver here. This is the silver weekly line chart. I talked about how beautiful this was, this basically double test of previous resistance here. The line chart just shows it beautifully. And look, it rallied up. I mean, this was actually 31.82. This may be the highest close in 10 years or so. Possibly. But this is why candlestick analysis is important. You got that ugly candle on the daily, and here you see the weekly. This line is from the previous week. So this line of resistance here, we can see silver traded above it, but it closed right below it. So it's good to look at this and this here at the same time. So who knows? We could see some selling here. This around 30.29 I mentioned on the daily. You could see some selling consolidation here for a couple weeks, a month or two. But eventually it should move higher. And just to go back here for a second, because I forgot to mention this, if we get some consolidation here, that's setting up. Could be. I'm not saying it's a perfect cup and handle pattern, but you do have this cup here, which from 32 to 27. So if we see some consolidation here, that could give silver a measured upside target to 37. In other words, the longer it takes silver to break 32, we're talking about days and weeks here, not months. But you get some time, a little correction, consolidation. That's going to set up a measured upside target of 37. So it could be better for silver as far as the sustainability of the next move higher if it has to pause here for a little while. And before I get to the stocks, there's weakness in the market right now. Maybe we get a little correction. These are the times to not panic out of your best positions, but if we do correct a little bit more than I think or a little bit more than you think, those are the times to shift things around in your portfolio if necessary. Get into the better stocks you missed if they come down. Potentially sell the laggards, which you've been holding on to for a long time. So if you want to know which are the best juniors out there in terms of quality and upside potential, that's what we do at TheDailyGold.com. If you're not a subscriber, would love you to come aboard. Thank you for listening to that message. Now let's get to the miners. I mentioned the monthly and quarterly charts, or the month of the quarter, that ends on Monday. So new monthly and quarterly charts coming up in one more trading day. So here we have the monthly for GDX and GDXJ, and we are at monthly breakouts right now. I know there's one more day left in the month, and we saw a sell-off today, but even if we get a bit of a sell-off on Monday, we're still likely in these candles to close at, for GDX, this monthly close would be the highest in 3.5 years. And then for GDXJ, the highest in 3 years, it looks like. So pay attention to this close on Monday. So, and the quarterly charts look even better. So even though there's some little bit of damage here on the daily and the weekly charts, you could say, maybe damage is too strong of a word. You're not seeing that on the monthly and quarterly charts. So we'll show those at some point next week. So they look really good. So they tell us any weakness here over the coming days and weeks, that's nothing to be concerned about. Most likely a buying opportunity. And last thing here, let's talk about the miners, because I tweeted this out this week and I mentioned this maybe a week or two ago. It looks to me like they have completed a running correction. And so this is what a running correction looks like. Now, in a typical correction, you have three legs, a down, up, down. But in a running correction, the market is so strong that the middle leg is so strong, it actually moves the market to a new high, like this. So you have down, up, down. I should have sketched in how a normal correction works, but a normal correction would be down, up, down, like that. But in a running correction, it looks like this, where the up wave is so strong, it takes the market to a new high, but then it comes back to where it starts. And so you actually have three legs here within this up leg. So GDX, here's where it started, here's where it ended. So you have down here, and then you have 1, 2, 3, that's the up leg, and then down here, down, and then this is the up leg, 1, 2, 3, and then down here for the third leg. It's not as strong as GDX, but there is a potential running correction here in the miners. And you go back to, I think this was Tuesday. I could have put in a line here, but this move on Tuesday, this candle, that to me, I was thinking, okay, this is, this could start running away to the upside. But never say never in gold and silver in the minor. So ugly candle today. We'll see what happens. I think as long as GDX holds above here, the running correction is intact. So you might see a little more selling, and then it could move back up like that. As long as it holds above 39 or the high 38s, I would say the running correction is intact. So that's all for this video. If you watched it all the way to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate you and all the kind comments and the feedback. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. Let me know what you think of this video. Are we going to correct for a little while or longer than I think or less than I think? Would love to hear your comments in the comments section. And that's all for this week. I hope you guys had a great week. Hope you have an even better weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you.